They conquered the music charts, but could they handle life's toughest challenges at home? These rock icons faced parenting struggles that no amount of fame could fix. Who had it the hardest? Stick around to find out as we dive into the lives of 20 legendary musicians and their battles offstage. 20. Ozzy Osbourne, the Prince of Darkness and his son's lifelong health challenge. You might know Ozzy Osbourne as the Prince of Darkness, but did you know his son Jack faces a lifelong health challenge? That's right, things haven't always been just rock and roll for the Osbournes. Jack Osbourne was diagnosed with multiple sclerosis, MS, in 2012, a disease that affects the nervous system and can cause vision problems, muscle weakness, and fatigue. Ozzy, known for his wild antics on stage, had a very different reaction when he heard the news. He said, "It knocked the wind out of me." Despite Ozzy's heavy metal persona, he's been a soft-hearted and supportive father, often putting his career on hold to stand by Jack's side. Jack hasn't let his diagnosis slow him down. He's become an advocate for MS awareness and regularly participates in fitness challenges to inspire others. Even with his health struggles, Jack maintains a sense of humor, once joking, "If I can survive my dad's music, I can survive anything." And Ozzy, he's proud of how Jack has handled his condition, often referring to him as "my biggest inspiration." 19. Joe Walsh, the Eagles guitarist and his daughter's autism journey. Imagine writing some of the greatest rock songs of all time, and then coming home to a completely different kind of challenge. That's exactly what happened to Joe Walsh when he found out his daughter Lucy had autism. Joe Walsh, the legendary guitarist from the Eagles, has always been known for his laid-back style and witty personality. But behind closed doors, he's faced many struggles as a father. Lucy was diagnosed with autism at an early age, and Joe quickly realized that parenting wasn't going to be easy. He's been open about the struggles, saying, "Nothing prepares you for this, but you do what you got to do." Joe credits his daughter's condition with helping him become more patient and understanding, both in his personal life and music. He's even used his platform to support autism awareness, attending charity events and speaking openly about the challenges of raising a child with special needs. His bandmates often say that Lucy is Joe's biggest inspiration, keeping him grounded in an otherwise chaotic life of touring and rock stardom. Did you know Joe Walsh once said that playing music actually helps him connect with Lucy better? He believes music has a universal language that even autism can't stand in the way of. 18. Roger Daltrey, The Who's frontman and his son's learning disability. You know Roger Daltrey as the legendary frontman of The Who, but did you know that behind his rock and roll persona, he's been dealing with a challenge closer to home? His son Jamie has struggled with a learning disability that changed Roger's perspective on life. Roger has always been outspoken, but when it comes to his son, he takes a more heartfelt approach. You think life is all about music, but then something like this comes along and changes everything, he once said. Jamie's condition made learning difficult, but Roger was determined to give him every opportunity possible. He even joked that Jamie's school reports were worse than his own, but he encouraged him to pursue his passions beyond academics. Daltrey has become a strong advocate for children with learning disabilities, often working with charities to provide resources for struggling families. Despite the challenges, Jamie found his own way in the world, inspired by his dad's determination and resilience. And here's the kicker. Roger often says that Jamie taught him more than he could ever teach his son. 17. David Bowie, ground control to parenting challenges. David Bowie was known for reinventing himself time and time again, but at home, he faced a challenge that required more than creativity. His son Duncan's battle with dyslexia was a test of patience and adaptability. Bowie, a visionary in music and style, had to adapt to help Duncan through school struggles. Dyslexia made it tough for Duncan to keep up with his peers, but Bowie made sure to remind him that brilliance comes in many forms. Imagination will always beat education, Bowie once said, encouraging Duncan to think beyond textbooks. Instead of focusing on what Duncan couldn't do, Bowie nurtured his love for storytelling and film, which eventually led him to become a successful filmmaker. Duncan, now an acclaimed director, often credits his father for helping him find his own path despite his learning difficulties. And here's a fun fact. Bowie would write songs and lyrics with Duncan just to help him practice reading, turning learning into a creative and enjoyable process. Even in parenting, Bowie's artistic touch never faded. 16. Tony Iommi, Black Sabbath's heavy metal pioneer and his daughter's mental health struggles. Tony Iommi may have pioneered heavy metal with Black Sabbath, but at home, he faced a battle of a different kind, supporting his daughter Tony Marie through mental health struggles. Tony has always been a private person, but he's spoken about how tough it was to see his daughter struggle with anxiety and depression. "You think you can fix everything, but some things are beyond you," he once said. Despite his fame, he admitted feeling helpless at times, but he always made sure Tony Marie knew she wasn't alone. Music became a bridge between them. Tony Marie inherited her father's musical talent and found solace in writing songs and playing guitar. Tony believes that creativity helped her navigate her challenges, and their bond grew stronger because of it. He even wrote a song inspired by her struggles, saying, "Music heals in ways you can't explain." 15. Steven Tyler, Aerosmith's frontman, and his daughter's battle with body dysmorphic disorder. Steven Tyler, the flamboyant frontman of Aerosmith, has always been larger than life. But behind the scenes, he's been helping his daughter Mia navigate a deeply personal struggle with body dysmorphic disorder. Mia grew up in the public eye, constantly compared to her famous father and supermodel mother. This pressure took a toll on her self-esteem, leading to a lifelong battle with body image issues. Steven, known for his high-energy performances and wild personality, became her biggest cheerleader, always reminding her that beauty isn't just skin deep. "My daughter is more rock and roll than I ever was," he once proudly said. Despite the challenges, Mia became an advocate for body positivity, inspiring others with her story. She credits her dad's unconditional support for helping her embrace who she is. And here's something you might not know. Steven even wrote personal letters to Mia, reminding her to stay strong when the pressure felt too much. Did you know that both Roger Daltrey and Steven Tyler have said that having kids with special needs made them better musicians? They claim it taught them patience, understanding, and gave their music deeper meaning. Pretty cool, right? 14. Eddie Van Halen, the guitar legend and his son's hearing loss. Eddie Van Halen was one of the greatest guitarists of all time, but his biggest challenge wasn't on stage. It was helping his son Wolfgang deal with hearing loss. Imagine being the son of a rock legend and struggling to hear music the way others do. Wolfgang's condition didn't stop him from pursuing his dreams, and Eddie made sure of that. "He's got more talent in one finger than I do in my whole body," Eddie would often say. Wolfgang defied the odds and became a musician himself, playing bass alongside his father in Van Halen. He's since gone on to release his own music, proving that no obstacle can stand in the way of passion. Eddie's support played a crucial role, and their bond through music remains legendary. 13. Gene Simmons, Kiss's demon and his daughter's dyslexia. Gene Simmons might have rocked stadiums with Kiss, but at home, he had to rock a different kind of challenge, helping his daughter Sophie overcome dyslexia. Sophie struggled with reading and writing from an early age, which made school tough. But Gene, known for his strong personality, took a hands-on approach to help her succeed. "I told her to never let anyone tell her she couldn't do something," he said. Sophie went on to become a successful singer and advocate for learning disabilities, proving that with the right support, nothing is impossible. Gene often credits her struggles for making him a more understanding and patient parent. 12. Brian Wilson, the Beach Boys' genius and his daughter's bipolar disorder. Brian Wilson's life has been a roller coaster of highs and lows, but nothing challenged him more than supporting his daughters Carney and Wendy through their struggles with bipolar disorder. Growing up in the shadow of their father's fame wasn't easy, and both daughters faced their own emotional battles. Brian, who had struggled with mental health himself, knew exactly how difficult it could be. "I just wanted them to be happy, no matter what it took," he once said. Despite their struggles, Carney and Wendy went on to have successful music careers with Wilson Phillips, but their journey wasn't without setbacks. Brian always encouraged them to seek help and never be ashamed of their condition. He even dedicated songs to them, showing his unwavering love and support. And here's a fun fact. Brian often wrote letters to his daughters, filled with lyrics and uplifting messages, helping them stay positive through tough times. 11. Pete Townshend, The Who's guitarist and his daughter's hearing impairment. Pete Townshend, famous for his explosive stage performances, faced a quieter yet equally challenging struggle at home: his daughter Emma's hearing impairment. For a musician whose life revolves around sound, discovering that his daughter had hearing challenges was heartbreaking. Pete, who has his own history of hearing loss from years of loud concerts, made it his mission to ensure Emma had every opportunity to succeed. "Music is more than just sound. It's about feeling," he once told her. Emma found her own way into the arts, becoming a writer and musician despite her hearing difficulties. Pete's support was instrumental, and he often adapted his music sessions to suit her needs, turning their home into a place of learning and creativity. Did you know Pete once wrote a song just for Emma, using vibrations and rhythms to help her experience music in her own unique way? Now that's rock and roll parenting. 10. John Lennon, the Beatles icon and his son's autism. John Lennon is known for spreading messages of peace and love, but behind closed doors, he faced a personal challenge: raising his son Sean, who was diagnosed with autism. Lennon's relationship with Sean was incredibly special, and he often referred to him as his little sunshine. John took a step back from the music industry to spend more time with Sean, learning how to navigate the complexities of autism. "Love is the answer," Lennon would often say when asked about parenting. He created a structured environment at home, filling it with music and art to help Sean communicate and express himself. Yoko Ono also played a big role in ensuring Sean had access to the best support. Today, Sean is a successful musician, and he credits his father's patience and understanding for helping him embrace his unique journey. And here's a touching fact. John's song "Beautiful Boy" was written just for Sean, capturing his deep love and hope for him. 9. Paul Stanley, Kiss's star child and his son's hearing loss. Paul Stanley, the iconic frontman of Kiss, knows better than anyone what it's like to live with hearing loss. After all, he was born partially deaf. So when his son Evan was diagnosed with hearing difficulties, Paul knew exactly how to help him. Paul never let his own hearing loss stop him, and he instilled the same resilience in Evan. "I told him nothing can stop you if you want it bad enough," Paul once said. He made sure Evan had the best hearing aids and support, encouraging him to follow his passion for music despite the obstacles. Today, Evan is a talented musician in his own right, proving that hearing loss doesn't define a person's success. Paul has used his platform to raise awareness about hearing health, reminding fans to protect their ears, especially at Kiss concerts, where the volume is legendary. 8. Neil Young, the folk rock legend and his son's cerebral palsy. Neil Young has always been a deeply emotional artist, but his most profound inspiration comes from his son Ben, who was born with cerebral palsy. Ben's condition requires constant care, and Neil has dedicated much of his life to ensuring his son receives the best possible support. He even built a customized home to accommodate Ben's needs, showing his unwavering commitment. "He's my biggest teacher," Neil once said, emphasizing how much he's learned from his son's strength. Despite his challenges, Ben shares his father's love of music and even helps inspire Neil's songwriting. Young has also been a major advocate for accessibility and healthcare for children with disabilities, using his fame to push for better services. Here's an amazing fact. Neil once auctioned off some of his prized guitars to raise money for disability charities, proving that his love for his son goes beyond words. 7. Eric Clapton, the blues legend and his son's ADHD. Eric Clapton's life has been filled with heartbreak, but one of his biggest challenges was supporting his son Connor, who was diagnosed with ADHD. Clapton, known for his bluesy ballads and soulful guitar work, had to find patience and understanding to help Connor navigate his world. "He's got more energy than my entire band combined," Clapton would joke. Despite the struggles, Clapton made sure Connor knew he was loved and supported. Sadly, Connor's life was tragically cut short in an accident. But Eric continues to honor his memory through music and by supporting ADHD awareness campaigns. His song Tears in Heaven remains one of the most heartbreaking tributes in music history, standing as a testament to a father's love. And here's something touching. Clapton often played lullabies for Connor, hoping to help calm his hyperactive mind with the soothing sound of his guitar. 6. Bruce Springsteen, the boss and his son's Asperger's syndrome. The boss might be a rock legend, but when it comes to parenting, Bruce Springsteen is just a regular dad helping his son Evan navigate life with Asperger's syndrome. Bruce has always been open about the challenges, explaining that parenting Evan required patience, understanding, and a lot of love. "You learn to listen more and talk less," he once said. Despite the difficulties, Bruce made sure that Evan never felt different, encouraging him to follow his passions and embrace who he is. Evan found his own path in the music industry, inspired by his father's relentless work ethic. Bruce often uses his experiences as a parent to connect with fans, proving that even rock stars face the same struggles as everyone else. Did you know Bruce once wrote an entire album, Working on a Dream, while reflecting on his experiences as a father? Music was always his way of making sense of life's challenges. 5. Freddie Mercury, Queen's frontman, and his nephew's autism. Freddie Mercury, the flamboyant frontman of Queen, was known for his electrifying stage presence, but at home, he had a softer side, especially when it came to his nephew Samuel, who was diagnosed with autism. Freddie took his role as an uncle seriously, offering support and encouragement whenever Samuel struggled. He often said, "Love and music can heal anything," and he meant it. Freddie would spend hours playing piano for Samuel, using music as a way to communicate when words failed. Despite his demanding career, Freddie always made time for his family, ensuring Samuel felt loved and included. His generosity extended beyond his own family. He donated to autism charities quietly, never seeking attention for his good deeds. And here's an interesting fact. Freddie once wrote a lullaby specifically for Samuel, filled with gentle melodies and heartfelt lyrics that showed his deep affection for his nephew. 4. Mick Jagger, the Rolling Stones frontman and his son's ADHD. Mick Jagger, the ultimate rock and roll frontman, is known for his energy on stage, but at home, he faced a different kind of challenge, raising his son Lucas, who was diagnosed with ADHD. With his non-stop touring schedule, Mick had to learn how to balance his wild lifestyle with the structured support Lucas needed. He often joked, "He's got more energy than me, and that's saying something." Mick worked closely with specialists to ensure Lucas had the tools to thrive, emphasizing creativity as an outlet. Lucas eventually found his passion in photography, channeling his restless energy into artistic pursuits. Mick remains proud of how far his son has come, often sharing how raising Lucas taught him patience and the importance of slowing down in life. Fun fact, Mick used to take Lucas on tour with him, incorporating a strict routine to help him stay focused amidst the chaos of rock stardom. 3. Bob Dylan, the voice of a generation and his son's dyslexia. Bob Dylan, the poetic voice of a generation, faced a unique challenge when his son Jacob was diagnosed with dyslexia. The legendary songwriter had to find creative ways to support his son's learning struggles. Dylan, known for his lyrical genius, turned reading into a musical experience, often using rhymes and rhythm to help Jacob with comprehension. He once said, "Music is storytelling, and storytelling is learning." Instead of conventional learning methods, Dylan filled their home with music, books, and constant encouragement. Jacob eventually grew into a successful musician himself, leading the band The Wallflowers. He credits his father's unique approach to education for helping him overcome the challenges of dyslexia. Here's a little-known fact. Bob Dylan used to create bedtime stories in song form, making learning a fun and engaging experience for Jacob, proving that creativity can overcome any challenge. 2. Jerry Garcia, the Grateful Dead's leader and his daughter's autism. Jerry Garcia, the laid-back leader of the Grateful Dead, faced a personal challenge when his daughter Trixie was diagnosed with autism. His journey as a father required patience, understanding, and a whole lot of love. Known for his improvisational skills in music, Jerry took a similar approach to parenting, adapting his style to suit Trixie's needs. He once said, You go with the flow and find the beauty in it. Jerry and his wife worked tirelessly to provide Trixie with the best care and resources, focusing on her strengths rather than her limitations. Trixie later became an advocate for autism awareness, continuing her father's legacy of kindness and compassion. Jerry's experience with Trixie even inspired some of his songs, adding a deeper layer to his music. Jerry often used colors and drawings to communicate with Trixie, turning their home into an artistic wonderland. 1. Elvis Presley, the king of rock and roll, and his daughter's ADHD. The king of rock and roll, Elvis Presley, ruled the music world, but at home, he had his hands full with his daughter Lisa Marie, who was diagnosed with ADHD. Elvis was a doting father who always tried to give Lisa Marie a sense of normalcy despite their larger-than-life lifestyle. He often said, "She's the greatest thing that ever happened to me." He worked with tutors and specialists to help her focus and stay on track, all while making sure she felt loved and supported. Lisa Marie later spoke about how her father's patience and kindness helped her navigate her challenges, giving her the confidence to step into the music world herself. And here's an amazing fact. Elvis used to write personalized bedtime songs for Lisa Marie, helping her calm down and focus through the power of music. Thanks for tuning in. If you loved this video, make sure to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell so you never miss our next story.